Alright, dearly beloved, lock in. It's time for the Sport Fans Roll Call because the global showpiece is live right now. Roll call today, Matchday 1, which gave us the most dramatic opening match days in World Cup history. 24 matches down, we are checking in on every nation and every match. Let's go! Mexico's secret weapon was an import. The first goal of the World Cup was scored by a man who used to play for Colombia. Can you believe it, guys? And if that is not enough, we saw 3 red cards, the most in a single World Cup match ever. And if you ask me, my star player of the match, none other than Julian Quinones. Of course, he took the most shots and he completed the most dribbles. He was everywhere. And when he left the field, 80,000 fans stood up for a winger who switched nationalities. Imagine, from Colombia all the way to Mexico. South Korea started on the front foot, but Czechia, through Ladislav Krejci, who was on a season-long loan at Wolves, scored fast before South Korea came from behind with the patience of a chess grandmaster. Star player of the match, Hwang In-beom, not only had 1 goal and 1 assist, but also had the joint most touches in the opposition box and the most touches in the game. In comes Canada, 19th nation hosting the World Cup. Understandably, Michael Kone was awarded the superior player of the match, having completed the joint most passes, but my star player of the match, Big Nico, Nikola Katic, he had the most defensive contributions. 22 months ago, Mauricio Pochettino joined the USA. You could feel the expectations and the optimism. With 17 players in Europe's top league and 9 of them starting, they looked experienced, composed and very sharp. You could see that Folarin Balogun is a striker full of confidence. By the way, Arsenal fans, why did you sell this player? Folarin Balogun was the star of the show. He had the most touches in the opposition box and he took the joint most shots. What an ending. With seconds left, Julian Lopetegui's men from Qatar equalized and the game ended 1-1. There was plenty of debate, by the way, about whether Switzerland were going to play with a back 3 or a back 4. But in the end, all the teams in Group B ended with 1 point each. Star player of the match, the wall of Qatar, Mahmoud Abunada, that goalkeeper. I hope European teams are watching out for him because he made 5 excellent saves. In comes my team. Brazil versus Morocco. Brazil was all over the place and couldn't get a hold of the game. We saw the trademark frantic chewing from the great man, Don Carlo. Morocco had the energy, they got a buzz about the game, and they were on top thanks to a clinical, cool finish from Ismail Saibari. By the way, this guy reminds me of one, Moussa Dembele, the famous guy from Belgium who used to play for Spurs. Of course, the star player was given to Vinicius Jr., because I think he had the most touches in the opposition box together with Rafinha, but if you ask me, I think these awards need to go to the Moroccan Maradona. El Toro, Ismail Saibari. Right about now, Bayern Munich are going to sign him and I can guarantee you they've signed a gem. What a player. Scotland returned to the World Cup after 28 years. Haiti returned after 52 years. But the star player, of course, is none other than the Aston Villa man, John McGinn. He had the last laugh after netting his 21st goal for the Tartan Army. A game plan executed to perfection. Swift counter-attack and the men from down under were on top of the world. It was a sucker punch for Turkey, who were highly fancied. Nistori Irankunda was given the superior player of the match, but my star player of the match was Patrick Beach. This goalkeeper, he's made the most saves so far. I know guys are talking about Vozinha, but this is a goalkeeper to watch. It was a statement of intent from Germany. I can't imagine. These guys scored 7 goals and most of their goals, they were classic goals. Talk about Kai Havertz, talk about Felix Mecha. The unpredictable, Dennis Undav. This guy is just outstanding. Right about now, he's made 10 appearances, he has 7 goals. But the star player of the match, give it to King Kai Havertz. He had the most touches in the opposition box and he took the most shots with Felix Mecha. Orange looked dynamic, but Japan showed resilience and spirit to keep on going. Star player of the match, Aquaman himself, Virgil van Dijk. He had the most touches and the most joint defensive contributions. But special shout out to Crescencio Somerville for netting his first international goal and Ryan Gravenberch for registering 2 assists. We move on to Africa, Ivory Coast versus Ecuador. Ecuador looked comfortable in position, but Amad Diallo stole the show. Understandably, the award was given to Yan Diomande, who seems to be a rising star, but if you ask me, I think Amad Diallo deserves the award because he completed the most dribbles, having played only 34 minutes, and he scored the winner. So Amad Diallo, keep doing what you're doing, man. A quick warning sign in transition moments for Sweden to play, but they eventually won the game. Sabri Lamouchi, the Tunisian coach, was later sacked, replaced by Hervé Renard. Alexander Isak was the player of the match, having scored 1 goal and 2 assists, but my star player is one guy called Yacine Ayari, and guys are sleeping on this kid. Manchester United, please look at Yacine Ayari, 22-year-old, playing at Brighton. Please do something. This was the match of match day 1, if you ask me. Capo Verde, Vozinha, what a goalkeeper. 7 great saves, he carried the nation all through. Team ya producer wangu hapa nyuma, lakini Belgium's golden generation has faded. And Egypt is still hoping to end their 92-year wait for a World Cup win. Star player of the match, Imam Ashuri. Known for his incredible work rate, up to now, this is one of the best and most dynamic midfielder in African football. And I don't know why Europe is not coming for this kid. Imam Ashuri, you are who you think you are. After a constant barrage from Uruguay, who couldn't believe how good the Falcons goalkeeper Mohamed Al-Owais was, Federico Valverde was given the man of the match, but if you ask me, Mohamed Al-Owais, the goalkeeper for Saudi Arabia, despite committing an error that led to a goal, he was the star of the show. In comes watu ambao wanasumbua Trump apati usingizi. Unfortunately, New Zealand has not won a match in the last 7 games that they've played in the World Cup. But the star player of the match was Ramin Rezaian for netting a goal and registering an assist. But guys, special shout out to Elijah Just and Chris Wood. Their link-up play and their understanding was just next level. C'était magnifique. France was looking at their fluent finest, and we got to see the full Kylian Mbappe experience. He was sensational in the second half, scoring from around 30-35 yards out. And they still wondered because the player of the match was given to Michael Olise, but I don't think so, man. The supreme leader himself, Kylian Mbappe, deserved that. He had the most touches in the opposition box and he had the most shots. So Kylian Mbappe, keep doing what you're doing. This was a no-brainer. Erling Haaland is out in the World Cup to just score goals. He scored 2 goals and I think he had the most shots as well in that game. What a story. Records are made to be broken by Lionel Messi. Mbappe scored 2, Haaland scored 2, Messi told them no problem, I am going to score 3, and he just did that. Right now he's on 16 goals with Miroslav Klose on his 20th appearance for Argentina. Argentina are going to defend the World Cup. Let's wait and see. An historic occasion for Jordan, being their first ever World Cup, but for Austria this is a team that is just next level. Of course, Ralf Rangnick is their coach, former Manchester United, and the big bad boy of Austrian football, Marko Arnautovic. When I see this guy, I always just remember Arnold Schwarzenegger. Superior player of the match went to Ali Olwan, but give it out, man. Me, I'm going to give it to Marko Arnautovic. This guy has just been exceptional for Austria. After 52 years away from the world stage, Portugal was shocked by the Lingala boys and they came to play in the field, let me tell you. Yohan Wissa with the historic goal. I'm following the Leopards and I can't wait to see them moving forward and progressing to the knockout stages. A young, courageous and brave group is what Thomas Tuchel said about this team, and I can tell you that is what they just were. Laser focus and nerves of steel from Harry Kane, a show of confidence and swagger from Jude Bellingham, redemption for one, super marker selector Sting and Marcus Rashford. And let me not even talk about the horse. England looked dangerous on set piece thanks to one man, Basmati, Declan Rice. He can't stop doing what he does best. But Harry Kane was the star of the show. Of course, he had the most touches in the opposition box and the most shots. We head back to Africa, Ghana vs Panama. Third game for the coach, Carlos Queiroz, but he produced what matters most, Ghana for the win. Semenyo was given the award, but I think the award was supposed to go to Caleb Yirenki, having completed the most D-balls in the match. Uzbekistan lost just one game during the World Cup qualifiers. Right now their coach is none other than the one Italian machine, Fabio Cannavaro. But guys, Luis Diaz has always been dangerous for Colombia. If you ask me, I think this is the most entertaining team that I've watched so far. Colombia are just flowing. Their build-up play is something different. Well, Matchday 1 is already decided, but don't sleep. Expect loads of surprises to come real soon as the tournament progresses. Don't touch that dial.